visual with that aircraft.
Tonight, in South Yorkshire, Sierra Yankee 99 Sky Cops are under pressure.
Of the incident, videotaping.
Wrong way.
Cracking down on car theft.
Took a little, even if you hit it.
Guiding in the dogs.
Excellent.
The dog's now stats
Sniffing out the criminals.
in. Going in.
By day
Yankee 99, one in custody.
and at night.
There is an expectation that when the helicopter arrives on the scene of an incident, we're there to pull the rabbit out of the bag.
(10 p.m. Sheffield). For many criminals, it's the start of their working day. In Rotherham, a car thief is on the run. Yankee 99 has the car in its sights, but this criminal is driving like a lunatic.
Incident, videotaping. All officers, if they can, get a radio on 88, ready for a bailout.
Yeah, he's going over the carriageway. Wrong way.
He's now on the wrong side of the road. Police cars are trying to get alongside to force him to stop.
Approaching traffic light. Go alongside, stand right. He hit something.
99 RTA, get ambulance traffic, please. Reach Borcher Road, junction outside the Sportsman's Pub.
I don't think they're good drivers at all. I think they're very dangerous, very irresponsible. They've no respect for life. Going through red traffic lights at 60, 70 mile an hour, there's only going to be one winner out of that.
Amazingly, no one has been killed or seriously injured. But for once, Yankee 99 has not been able to make a difference.
I don't see them driving in a normal manner. The problem with me is that I see them driving in just so dangerously that they're actually prepared to lose their life to get away from a police officer. They're very, very critical incidents, probably more critical or as critical as the Firearms incident.
While the ground cops pick up the pieces, 99 returns to base to refuel. But tonight, there's little time to consider what happened.
Access Yankee 99. Take a report of a foul stop on the...
Another car chase. Not a stolen one this time, but 3 men have dumped it and are out and running. On the ground, it's virtually pitch black. It's 1 a.m. 99's thermal imaging camera is what's needed.
10:30 from 99. Dave, just give me again where they all went.
3 ran from where I am to the field at Devon roadside.
It's worth its weight in gold, really, because any searching that's done is totally reliant on the thermal imaging camera.
They can't have run far.
We can get overhead and within minutes we can search vast areas of land, many gardens, and determine whether or not there's anything there that's giving off a heat signature.
The white blob on top of the wall is a cat, watching the drama unfold.
How's this kid with baseball cap on? Acting very nonchalant. Yeah, we've got one very calm-looking customer just come off Denman now, back onto Savile, I think it is, actually walking back towards the car. Someone can just be checking him out.
Fortunately, a ground cop is nearby.
He came from Denman. Pretty much the timing would be right for him to have come across that field. Can't have run far.
The night time does give a lot of criminals an extra element of cover, but it also gives us a helping hand in so much as that people that are out and about in the early hours of the morning are either milkmen, policemen or villains.
As the search for the other 2 runaways continues, PC Humphreys has spotted something suspicious. A wheelie bin, a favoured hiding place for car thieves.
899, we need a wheelie bin check-in, please. It's on Newfield Crescent, or possibly Cuts Avenue, where it joins the two, and it backs onto this field, please.
With a thermal image camera, you have to work hard to try and determine what it is that you're looking at. You're not looking at a picture of light, you're looking at a representation of heat. And although the human body gives off one heat signature, there are lots of other things that give off the same temperature.
Is it getting warmer? Can't tell, to be honest. With the vehicle parked outside it, right behind that bush. Yeah, absolutely fine. Good.
You can find yourself looking at a heat source in a garden for quite some time, trying to determine what it is. And very often the easiest way is to direct an officer into the heat source and get them to have a closer look.
Back doors up, there we go.
65 Alpha. 1281 to 99, it's just grass cutting.
Grass cutting.
Go ahead.
Yes, thanks for checking with all that, my dear. Thank you.
No, thank you.
The search has been going on for 15 minutes. There's no sign of the suspects, and the residents of the estate are starting to come out in force.
Everybody I'm seeing is coming out of doorways looking at us, or dogs.
But PC Humphreys believes some of the residents are trying to help him.
There were some people in the area that were indicating closer to the scene of the abandoned car, so we began to concentrate a little more on that area.
Behind the fence.
That's a man.
And lo and behold, there, hiding behind a wall, was one of the occupants of the vehicle.
Good spot. Yeah, Dave, you've got one hiding just further up the street. From where the car's pointing, about 2 semi-detached houses in, behind the fence. Charlie Golf, are you nearby? In fact, I can see you pulling up now. He's just coming out now, 2 houses in front of you on the right-hand side, behind the fence.
To the naked eye, you couldn't see him, and yet we were literally feet from him. Even if we'd actually stood on him, we wouldn't have seen him. He was that well concealed by the bushes.
Charlie Golf, not that garden, the next one. Good boy.
But there are places that you can hide from the eye, but the heat-seeking capabilities of the camera see through all those bits of camouflage, and we find people in all sorts of places.
That was good. Yeah.
As 2 a.m. rolls around, the clubs of Sheffield are turning out. Most of the revellers take cabs home. But not the drunk in this car. He decided to drive home, stole a Cavalier XLR, and is now being chased by police. And Yankee 99.
Yankee 99, we're visual with the vehicle.
Also on the tail of the drunken driver is PC Scothen.
Anderson, it was over the limit, it was a disqualified driver, it was a prolific offender. He was trying to just get away, whatever means possible.
The drunk has taken a risk too far, skidding as he runs out of road.
Vehicle's crashed, it's reversing.
A chance for PC Scothen.
Look it up, even if you hit it, even if you hit it. Push it forward. Push it forward.
I mean, he was prepared to risk his life. He was to try and get away from us. I mean, it was one of the dangerous pursuits that I've had in the last 12 months. Due to its speed alone, due to the weather conditions, he was just going horrifically quick.
PC Scothen's got a problem. A front tyre is going flat.
Yeah, we're a flat, yeah. Yes, traffic car behind. Can you come through, please? Can you come through?
He's going to have to stop.
Yeah, it's going to be a decaf. Get over there.
The police car in front is being driven by PC Jim Lucas, and the thief has turned onto school playing fields.
I know this field quite well, and it became apparent to me that once we were on the field, the driver had become disorientated.
To illuminate the area, the crew of 99 turn on their powerful searchlight, known as the Night Sun.
We tend to use it to assist the people on the ground, either illuminating large areas of land or bring it down to a narrow beam and use it as a pointer. So it's a piece of roll equipment that we use with a little bit of thought.
The drunk is no longer thinking or driving straight. PC Lucas is.
So as the car had slowed down slightly, I was in a position to go up to the side of the driver's door, basically collide with it and shove him into a shallow ditch.
Even in the ditch, the thief is refusing to leave the car. Fortunately, help is at hand.
When you get driving that's so bad and that this person's wanted for other offences, it's very satisfying. You know, the end result is, look, we've got him, he's in cuffs.
It's a great feeling to catch them and to get them stopped. I mean, it wasn't a new car, but that's someone's pride and joy.
And there's a sense of pride and joy inside the cockpit of Sierra Yankee 992.
Fly me to the moon, bright moon, let me play amongst the stars. I can't remember what the next bit goes, but it's Jupiter and Mars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. That's it, yeah. In other words, that's it, yeah. Please be true. Who sang that then? In other words, Frankie Baby. Fill my heart with song and let me do.
8 a.m. A chance for the night and day shifts to spend some time together.
Yeah, we usually try and eat together when we can. There's usually a small window of opportunity where you say, right, it's quiet, grab a meal. It's usually breakfast on a day shift, and we all try and get stuck in before the work starts. It's usually quite a slow start in the morning. We get the main admin out of the way, getting the aircraft checked, getting all the fuel checked, making sure all the documentation's up to date, and then we can sit back and relax waiting for a job coming in. But it's usually about midday before you really start to get any heavy workload.
But this morning, there's no time to relax. The unit has gone to the dogs. Before the calls start coming in, the duty crew are going to take Max and his handler for a training flight.
Yeah, I think you would be okay, be safe with the rotors. Okay.
Okay. The dogs are euphemistically known as the furry exocets. Recently flew a very experienced police constable who initially was very apprehensive about the flight and afterwards thanked me because he said, well, that's far smoother than I thought it would be. So he was anxious, whereas his dog was good as gold. As we all know, there's no rush to this kind of operation at all. It's not like in the movies when it's running in and running out and war zone stuff. We're not in that game at all. We want to go through practice deploying to an area where we're going to have a simulated suspect who Max is then going to track.
Max has flown in the helicopter quite a few times. In fact, when this force took on the new helicopter, Max was the first dog to fly in it. I think he's now tagged as Air Dog Max.
We'll go for a couple of gentle circuits ring first. Have a look at our landing.
The dogs are very predictable, they're extremely well controlled. However, we put a rubber mat down in the back of the aircraft so they don't catch their claws in the freight rails, and they are tethered as well because we don't like the idea of the dog getting loose in the cockpit especially. That would be somewhat undesirable.
When the helicopter deploys, it makes life a lot easier as a dog handler. It's very time-consuming to search wide areas using the dog. The helicopter can see the overall picture.
Excellent!
Max has flown in the helicopter quite a few times. In fact, you've seen dogs in the backs of cars with the window down. Given the opportunity, I'm sure the dog would have had his head out of the window.
At police headquarters, they're calling for police dogs and Yankee 99.
Access control to Sierra Yankee
99, receiving over.
another car chase, and the pursuers believe the thieves are about to stop and run for it.
So we dropped the training immediately and diverted to go to the live job. And we got there just in time to see the car come to a stop.
Yeah, they're abandoning, they're running.
Chase Sierra Yankee 99.
The crew believe the thief is going to run right through the woods to seek refuge in the houses behind.
We'll be coming out the other side. Yeah. Oh, we've got a biker.
He doesn't, but the chasing ground cop does.
The police dog hand was on the other side of the wood, and he wouldn't have known which way to go. You know, we're talking thousands of square metres of search area.
Yeah, no, we're maintaining top cover. Nobody's come out of the wooded area. All officers just contain the wood. The dog's now stat suits and going in.
The driver was actually only hiding literally 6 foot away from us with a helicopter above us, but it was that thick, the bushes, you couldn't see anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so we hovered over the top of the wood and literally said left a bit, right, he's in front of you.
Yeah, stand by.
Within seconds of putting the dog into the woods, he's found him.
Excellent.
This is no training exercise. The man is wanted for breaching a court order.
Great.
Chase Sierra Yankee 99, one in custody.
The only problem with a helicopter sometimes is you have you running uphill and down dale because they've got a heat source, and it turns out to be a cat or a rabbit or something. I think half the time they know that. They just enjoy watching you running around like a headless chicken.
Excellent. Roger. Okay, if you can close the door then, please. Yeah.
Golf Control, Sierra Yankee 99. We've got a fail to stop on the manor.
The easy start to the day has long gone. A car has been stolen in Sheffield. 99 is being refuelled. Captain Mousset's crew have taken the call. But there's another problem. There is a strong smell of fuel in the cockpit.
Strong smell. Yeah, I've got it now.
Yeah, it is actually. It's as strong as I've ever had it before. Neil said it was a really strong and it's making his eyes water, and I turned around from the front to have a look and his eyes were literally streaming with the fumes, that obviously the vapour from the fuel. Yeah, we grounded it. The job that we lifted for, they actually detained the two that we'd gone for anyway, so that's why we came straight back. But we've got a slight problem with the aircraft, so that's why we've come straight back and landed.
The technical problem couldn't have come at a worse time. In Sheffield, there's been a spate of house burglaries, during which the keys to luxury cars are being stolen. PC Scuthern has been told to try and catch those responsible. He was counting on help from 99.
We're very, very well organised. We've had in excess of £500,000 worth of cars taken over the last month. In history, the only way we've caught them is on the road while actually taking the vehicles. We've had limited success with forensics, so it's all about being out there and dealing with them and catching them while they're doing their act.
We've got some intelligence that suggests that there's been a vehicle stolen with its keys, we believe from a burglary, that's been put on false plates and been driven by a criminal in the Shire Green area of Sheffield. The road crime unit are going into the area with 4 traffic cars and a plane vehicle to see if we can flush this vehicle out, see if we can find it.
These people who we're targeting at the moment, we know that they've been offending and been caught so many times for car crime, and they get harder to catch. We need a little bit more luck every time.
But Lady Luck isn't with them today. Yankee 99's fuel smell was caused by a leaking valve. She's grounded.
The problem we've got is the access to this valve. If I can get it out without lifting this floor, that will save us a day's downtime.
Okay.
It's now a race against time.
The least downtime, the better. The engineers think they know that it's the rollover valve that's the problem. If they can change that without taking the floor up, then that would be great.
I think they put this valve in and then built the aircraft around the valve.
And if they've got to take the floor up, then we need to take everything out the back of the cab, remove the flooring and solve the problem that way.
No one knows how long this is going to take. The stolen car PC Scuthern's been looking for has been located, and headquarters wants 99 to help.
yeah, requesting us for the fail to start, which we can't go to.
Well, it's pretty demoralising, really. You sat here all day. We've got bits and pieces that we can be doing, but our job is to fly in the aircraft, and it's not available. We can't really go anywhere and do anything else because it could be ready at any time, and it's just playing the waiting game, really. We just sit around bored.
Meanwhile, PC Scotland and an unmarked police car have got the stolen car trapped. Or so they think.
Turn the car off! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Tango Uniform 5.
When it's going wrong, you sometimes wish you'd took another profession.
Evolution 8, high speed. It's the same vehicle as last night. It has rammed my police vehicle. The vehicle at the moment is out of sight. Where did that Evolution go? Grey car, where did it go? Grey car! Tim, last night this vehicle was pursued and lost. It is a total loss now, XS. We're calling off the pursuit.
The floor's going to have to come up.
Yeah, we may make contact with him.
Sometimes, you know, people are going to get away. No matter what you do, they may take that extra risk that we're just not prepared to take, and the officers on the ground aren't prepared to take. But you can always go back the next day and the next day until you finally get them.
Can't believe it.
Well, I've never seen that done before. Locking doors and then smashing the way out.
That before. That was something as serious untoward with that car.
At 99's base, there's a breakthrough. They won't have to take up the floor after all.
One trouble fuel valve. We've got another, we'll fit it and see how we get on.
Because we have 3 engineers that work with us all the time, you build up a relationship with them, you trust them basically with your life. It just makes that part of flying that little bit more comfortable.
Fitting the new valve is one thing, getting 99 back on duty quickly another. They must test it first, and that means giving the engineer a spin.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
If there's anything still wrong, this will flush it out. Back on the streets of Sheffield, another car's gone missing.
Driver of the vehicle believed to be wanted.
It was a car stolen from a burglary. It had its identity altered, its number plates changed. We did have a little bit of intelligence that the car was in that area, and we picked up on it. We dropped on the vehicle, and we had a pursuit with that car.
And it's a left towards the Concorde. We're now on Shire Green Lane towards Concorde Sports Centre.
At the airport, the test is complete. Yankee 99 is free to help PC Scotland.
Stand by, we're still going. We're into Concorde Park. We're into Concorde Park and it's going onto the fields. We're on the fields at Concorde Park, we're onto the golf course, XS. Can you get everything you've got towards Woolywood Bottom, please, I think?
Hello, right, is it that Astra? Another pursuit with that stolen, that Astra, yes. Not required radio calls, required videos and make checks complete.
And we're still in the golf course. If you're going back towards the entrance at Concord Park, he's coming back up the golf course now. Stand by, we're still going. Vehicle abandoned, vehicle abandoned.
As PC Scuthan goes after the thief on foot, Yankee 99 is overhead at last.
Just got down here. Yeah, we've got one parked up, some inside the trees.
I've got visual with the patrol car that's into the trees. I've also got the heat source of what I can assume is the car that you were following, and then another heat source about 50 yards in front of that. I just wanted to know if they were still in situ or if they were still moving.
On the ground, reinforcements are arriving and a big search is underway. A number of suspects are in the frame.
Tango Uniform, Sierra 1. There's a youth about 400 metres from me, running from my right to left.
Right, make as much noise as you can, because they'll keep their heads down while I are calibrating.
Right, what's that there?
Golfers. Fancy golfers being on golf course.
PC Scuthan is not a happy man. It looks like his thief has got away.
You can't, I mean, you just can't compete with the fact that the driver stolen vehicle 100 metres through. I mean, look at the damage across the trees. Straight through.
No, I'm like a bear with a sore head when criminals get away from me.
Radio.
It's just something I don't deal with very well, and I sort of declare war on them. I'll go after them. If I've got a suspicion who that person is, and I can't prove it at that time, I should be in the area, because these people always reoffend.
The crew of Yankee 99 haven't yet given up. They're still looking.
I've got the heat source, which is too strong to be people, so I can assume that's the car. I've then got another heat source, very intermittent. I'll try and get the area contained and we'll get a dog in.
Look at my boots. I'm exhausted. I'm all sweaty and I need a beer. And a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh.
I don't know if anybody's bothered yet, but do you want to start recovery? It's going to need someone to tow it from about 300 yards into a wooded area.
Oh, by the power of Grayskull. It's good. They know they can't outrun us in these traffic cars. Easy, easy. And they know that if it goes long enough, they know they've got the helicopters going to be above them. So once the helicopter's on top of them, they'll never ever get away from it.
Access from 99 in view of the last, we'll resume back to base.
There's one good thing, you're not getting eaten by old midges that's down here.
It's not been a great day for the South Yorkshire police. But there is some good news. When the thief ran away from the stolen car, he left a vital clue behind. His phone.
Marvellous, as they say.
The offender's left his mobile phone in the vehicle. We'll hope to bring an arrest quite soon with that one.
The runaway driver that was pushed into the ditch by PC Jim Lucas was convicted of dangerous driving. The man hiding behind the hedge was found to be the passenger of the stolen car and was not charged. And the driver, sniffed out by the dog, got 12 months and disqualified from driving for a further 2 years.